Costa Rica declared itself a sovereign nation in 1848, withdrawing from the Federal Republic of Central America. This was a relatively quick and painless effort, since Costa Rica was very isolated from the rest of Central America. Not to mention, the Federal Republic itself was close to collapsing, so they did not have the energy, resources, or desire to focus on Costa Rica's withdrawal.
Costa Rica's history as a free nation began with José María Castro Madriz, who served as the first president under a newly instituted constitution which established basic civil rights and abolished the army. The first major political instability that presented itself was William Walker, who seized control of Nicaragua in 1855. Juan Rafael Morra Porras, the president of Costa Rica at the time, decided to battle Walker. The Costa Ricans attacked Walker's mercenaries at the border town of Rivas and won when the mercenaries had to flee after a Costa Rican drummer boy set the town on fire. In 1857, Walker returned to Rivas, but his force was again defeated. The cost of this war was large, and Costa Rica, under President Morra Porras, was in financial difficulty even before the war began. Morra Porras was subsequently replaced with the leader of a prominent coffee baron family, José María Montealegre. The Montealegre family dominated Costa Rican politics for about 2 decades until a general, Thomas Guardia Gutierrez, took power. He ruled until 1882. Tomás Guardia was an archetype that has occurred frequently in Latin America, a military politician who takes a populist stance but replaces the corrupt old ruler with a new government made up of his family and old supporters.
He tried to modernize Costa Rica with a program of free and mandatory public education. He tried to promote export trade by arranging for the construction of a railroad to link the Meseta Central to the Caribbean coast at Puerto Limón. The railroad had more of an impact than was expected. It brought engineer and entrepreneur Minor Cooper Keith to Costa Rica, who not only built the railroad, but created the banana industry of Costa Rica, and initiated a number of other business ventures, including the creation of the United Fruit Company.
Together with this newfound economic resource was the coffee industry that had been developing in the country since the 1830s. By 1848, Costa Rica already exported 100,000 quintals of coffee. This development changed the farming industry into capitalist enterprise, establishing credit institutions and land privatization. This led to the creation of a new class of affluent individuals, the coffee barons. The coffee barons generally were classical liberals. They believed in the wisdom of free trade and in the inevitability of government intervention in markets. Allowing the markets to take their course in the coffee industry of Costa Rica meant that the more successful growers expanded their operations by buying up the properties of the less successful. The owners of small, inefficient farms usually increased their incomes when they sold their property and became laborers on the larger, more efficient coffee plantations. This created a large class of landless peasants working for those large growers.
The culture of the higher classes was defined by indulgence and European-oriented taste, and espousing the ideals of the Enlightenment, liberalism, and modernism. However, the rural villages preserved their local identities, with ties to Catholicism and colonialism. This period also witnessed the growth of the printing press, which had been introduced to Costa Rica in 1830. This allowed for the creation and spread of costumbrism, a romantic literary genre, during and after the 1850s. Costa Ricans continued to celebrate El Desfile de los Faroles, procession of lanterns, on the 14th of September, to mark the day Costa Rica declared its independence from Spain in 1821. Another typical custom that began during this time is called La Lagarteada en Ortega de Borzón, Guanacaste. It refers to crocodile hunting, and started because of the need of farmers to protect their animals from this river-dwelling predator.
These qualities all define the initial development that made Costa Rica the diverse and dynamic country that it is today. However, Costa Rica, just like any other Latin American country, is plagued with stagnation as a result of economic limitations, class divisions, and the political corruption that started during the first 4 decades of its existence as an independent entity.